Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fluent English with Podcast. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Alan. Happy to be here with you all again today.
We're so excited to be talking about a topic that's close to everyone's heart: family life.
Absolutely. Families come in all shapes and sizes, and the dynamics can be both hilarious and heartwarming.
This podcast is a great way to improve your English listening and speaking skills. By listening to conversations about everyday life, you'll pick up new vocabulary and learn how to express yourself naturally.
Plus, we'll keep the sentences simple and clear, perfect for English learners like you.
Today, we'll be diving into the world of family dynamics. We'll share some funny stories and relatable struggles from our own families, as well as some interesting stories we've heard from listeners like you. We have some great guests lined up, too.
Throughout the show, we'll be introducing some useful vocabulary related to family life. Take notes if you hear something new.
Let me tell you, family life is full of surprises. Remember the time I accidentally dyed my hair green trying to use my grandma's special hair treatment?
Oh yeah, that was a disaster. But hey, at least it's a good story to tell now.
Exactly. And speaking of stories, I remember my younger brother hiding my favorite shoes for a whole week because I wouldn't share my candy with him. Classic sibling rivalry.
I can definitely relate to that. My sister used to blame everything on me when we were kids.
See? Family struggles. Everyone faces them. But that's what makes families special, right? We learn to love each other, even when we drive each other crazy.
Absolutely. We've also heard some amazing stories from our listeners, like the one about the family that adopted a pig or the teenager who started a successful baking business with their grandma's secret recipe.
Those are fantastic. It just shows how unique and interesting families can be.
So without further ado, let's get started. We have a lot to explore.
Today, we're chatting with Nicole, who has a pretty interesting family dynamic.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Alan. Hi, Sophie. Happy to be here.
So, Nicole, tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, it's definitely not your typical setup. I have a huge extended family on my mom's side. Every weekend seems like a family reunion. We have cousins of all ages, aunts and uncles with big personalities, and even a couple of mischievous grandparents.
Wow, that sounds lively. Do you enjoy having such a large family?
Most of the time. There's always someone to hang out with. And there are tons of traditions we celebrate together. Big family dinners are legendary, with enough food to feed a small army. But sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming with so many personalities under one roof.
I can imagine. But it sounds like a close-knit family.
Absolutely. And birthdays are the best. With so many aunts, uncles, and cousins, the gifts just keep coming. But finding a quiet corner to relax can be a challenge. Like last Thanksgiving, things got a little crazy.
Crazy how?
Well, my Uncle Frank, who's a bit of a prankster, decided to switch all the name tags on the chairs. Imagine trying to find your grandma amongst a sea of confused cousins. There I was, sitting next to my teenage cousin Billy, trying to make polite conversation about his upcoming soccer game. Meanwhile, my real grandma was probably wondering who this strange young man was staring at her mashed potatoes. It was absolute chaos, but we all ended up laughing about it later.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like a scene straight out of a comedy movie.
It definitely was. But that's just our family, always full of surprises.
Sounds like a fun bunch. Thanks for sharing your story, Nicole. Your family gatherings sound like they could fill a whole book of anecdotes.
You're welcome. Maybe someday I will write that book. It's been fun talking with you both.
Now, let's eavesdrop on a typical family conversation. This one involves a teenager asking for permission to go to a party.
Hey honey, you're home. How was practice?
It was okay. Coach was on us pretty hard today.
Sounds rough. Want some apple slices?
Sure. Thanks, Dad. Hey, Mom, can I talk to you about something?
Of course, honey. What's on your mind?
So, there's this party next Friday night at Sarah's. Can I go?
A party? Huh? Tell me more about it.
Well, it's just a small gathering at her house. Mostly people from school will be there.
Is there going to be any alcohol?
Mom, come on, I wouldn't do anything like that.
Okay, I trust you. But I still need to know what time the party starts and when you'll be back.
The party starts at 7 p.m. and I can be back by 11 p.m.?
Let's talk to your dad about it. We'll give you a definite answer later.
Okay, thanks, Mom.
This is a common scenario in many families. Negotiation, trust, and setting boundaries are all important parts of healthy family communication.
Exactly. We'll hear more conversations like this throughout the show.
Now let's take a break from the conversations and focus on some useful vocabulary related to family life.
Today's words will help you talk about different family dynamics.
Extended family. This refers to your relatives beyond your immediate family, such as aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, etc.
Close-knit. This describes a family that is very bonded and supportive of each other.
Prankster. This is someone who likes to play jokes on others, often in a harmless way.
Mischievous. This describes someone who is playfully naughty or likes to cause a bit of trouble.
Negotiation. This is the process of discussing something to reach an agreement.
Boundaries. These are limits or rules that are set in place to maintain a healthy relationship.
Now, listeners, pay close attention to these words because we'll hear them come to life.
Now, we have another guest with a funny family story to share. Let's welcome Samuel.
Hi, Sophie. Hi, Alan. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Samuel. We're excited to hear your story. Tell us about your family.
Well, my family is definitely close-knit. Even though it's on the smaller side, it's just me, my parents, and my younger sister, Lily. But don't let the size fool you. Things can get pretty lively at our house, especially with Lily around. She's a real mischief maker.
Sounds like fun. So tell us about a funny family story involving your sister.
Absolutely. Last summer, we were all going on a camping trip. Now, my sister is obsessed with her stuffed unicorn, Sparkles. She takes it everywhere, and I mean everywhere.
I see where this is going.
Exactly. We get to the campsite, unpack the car, and guess what's missing? Sparkles the unicorn was nowhere to be found. Lily started crying, accusing me of hiding her precious toy.
Did you?
Of course not. We searched high and low, retracing our steps from the car to the campsite. Finally, my dad decided to check the car one last time. And guess what he found?
Sparkles?
Not quite. He found Sparkles strategically tucked away in the cooler, nestled right next to the ice cream.
The cooler? That's a new hiding spot.
It certainly was. Apparently, Lily, in her pre-camping excitement, decided Sparkles needed to stay extra cold for the trip. It took some convincing, but we finally managed to explain that unicorns don't need to be refrigerated.
Oh no, but at least the story has a happy ending.
Absolutely. We all had a good laugh about it, even Lily. Now, whenever we go camping, Sparkles gets her own special spot in the car, far away from the ice cream.
Sounds like a fun family tradition in the making. Thanks for sharing that story, Samuel. It perfectly illustrates the words we talked about today, like close-knit, mischievous, and even negotiation, because I'm sure you had a few words with Lily about packing her unicorn.
You bet I did. But all in good fun, of course.
Thanks again, Samuel. Now that we've explored some vocabulary and funny family stories, let's take a trip to the cultural corner.
Today, we'll be focusing on family traditions around the world. Families everywhere have unique ways of celebrating holidays, birthdays, and other special occasions.
Exactly. Let's hear some examples.
In China, celebrating the Lunar New Year is a major family tradition. Families gather for a reunion dinner, exchange red envelopes filled with money, and light firecrackers to ward off evil spirits.
In Mexico, families come together for the Day of the Dead, a vibrant celebration to honor deceased loved ones. They build altars decorated with sugar skulls, marigolds, and favorite foods of the departed.
In India, Diwali, the Festival of Lights, is a joyous occasion. Families decorate their homes with lamps and diyas, exchange gifts, and enjoy traditional fireworks displays.
These are just a few examples, of course. Family traditions can vary greatly depending on culture, religion, and even regional customs.
That's right. But one thing remains constant: the importance of family and togetherness.
Listeners, we'd love to hear about your family traditions. Share them in the comments section.
Here's a fun example we encountered while traveling.
We were visiting a market in Marrakech, Morocco, when we met Aisha, a local shopkeeper. We got to talking about family traditions, and she shared a funny story about theirs.
Family traditions. In my family, we have a special way of celebrating Eid al-Fitr, the end of Ramadan. It's a time for feasting and joy.
That sounds lovely. What do you do?
Well, we prepare a traditional dish called a tagine with lamb, prunes, and almonds. It's delicious, but the funniest part is the competition.
A competition? What kind of competition?
A competition to hide the most money in the tagine. We wrap small bills in little pieces of paper and sneak them into the dish. Whoever finds the most money during the meal gets bragging rights for the whole year.
That's such a unique tradition. Have you ever found the most money?
Oh no, my brother always wins. He's got a real knack for hiding those bills. But it's all in good fun. The most important thing is being together with family and celebrating.
That's a beautiful sentiment, Aisha. Thanks for sharing your story with us.
What a fantastic story, Alan. Now, let's shift gears and discuss a topic that's becoming increasingly common: blended families.
That's right. Blended families, formed when parents from previous relationships come together, can be a source of great joy and love. But they also come with their own set of challenges.
Exactly. Today, we'll explore some of these challenges and offer tips for navigating them successfully. Here are some of the most common issues faced by blended families.
Adjusting to new family dynamics, it can take time for everyone to adjust to living together, especially children who may be used to a different family structure.
Absolutely. Feelings of jealousy, resentment, or confusion are normal. Open communication and patience are key during this adjustment period.
Differing parenting styles. Parents from different backgrounds may have different approaches to discipline, chores, and other household rules.
Finding common ground and establishing a united front as parents is crucial. Discussing these differences beforehand and being flexible can help create a harmonious environment.
Navigating relationships with ex-partners. Maintaining a civil relationship with your ex, especially when co-parenting, is essential for the well-being of the children.
Clear communication and boundaries are important when dealing with ex-partners.
Feeling like an outsider. New step-parents or step-siblings may feel like outsiders in the established family unit.
Making an effort to include everyone and creating opportunities for bonding can help overcome this feeling.
Here are some tips for building a strong blended family.
Focus on open communication. Talk openly and honestly with each other about your feelings, needs, and expectations.
Regular family meetings can be a great way to facilitate open communication.
Celebrate family time. Create traditions and activities that everyone can enjoy and participate in. This helps build a sense of unity and belonging.
Be patient. Building a strong blended family takes time and effort. Don't get discouraged if there are bumps along the road.
Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to blended families. The most important thing is to approach challenges with love, understanding, and a willingness to work together.
Now we'd love to share a story from one of our listeners about her experience in a blended family.
This is Carol from Austin, Texas, and she left us a voicemail message. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hi, Sophie and Alan. I wanted to share my experience of growing up in a blended family. My parents divorced when I was young and both remarried a few years later, so I ended up with a whole new set of siblings, 2 older stepbrothers and a younger half-sister. It definitely wasn't always easy. There were times when I felt like I was caught in the middle, trying to navigate 2 different sets of family rules and expectations. But you know what? It also made our family really unique and fun. We had twice the holidays to celebrate, twice the birthday parties, and twice the amount of love and sometimes twice the amount of arguments too. Learning to get along with my step-siblings took some time, but eventually we became really close. We still have a special bond because of our shared experience of growing up in a blended family. My advice to anyone in a blended family is to be patient, communicate openly, and embrace the unique dynamic. It can be a challenge, but it's also a beautiful thing to have so much love in your life.
Thanks for sharing your story, Carol. That was really inspiring.
It sounds like you have a wonderful and supportive family, Carol.
Blended families come in all shapes and sizes, and Carol's story is a great reminder that with love and effort, they can be a source of immense joy and strength.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of family life. We hope you learned something new and maybe even laughed a little along the way.
Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more episodes on language learning and cultural exploration.
Happy learning and happy families.